Hello and a warm welcome to Federal Special Program Capital Beat. On 23rd June, 15 opposition parties met in Patna to chalk out a strategy for 2024 elections. All the opposition parties decided to put up a united fight against BJP despite all the regional differences. The next meeting is going to be in Shimla, but if you look at the meeting which happened in Patna, the meeting got vitiated because of Aam Aadmi Party's discordant note, because of their insistence on Congress's support on the ordinance issue. Now, has the Aam Aadmi Party's stance put a dent on the opposition unity? What is the way ahead? Will the opposition go ahead with or without Kejriwal? And what are the other broader aspects which the opposition parties will look at in the next meeting at Shimla? I'm joined by CPI General Secretary, Mr. D. Raja. So thank you so much for joining on the Federal. So my first question to you, Mr. Raja, is that what was the broad framework which was decided in the Patna meeting?
Patna meeting was a very important meeting because that meeting took place after Karnataka elections. And the political parties who came there had a proper understanding of the emerging situation in the country. All parties are of the view that we should fight the elections together in order to defeat BJP. When we say we should defeat BJP, it means we should safeguard, save the nation, constitution, secular fabric of our society, and federal principles of our governance. There are issues related to the livelihood of the people. What we have been witnessing for the past 9 years, it is disastrous. We cannot call it rule or governance. It is misgovernance, misrule, because country is in multiple crises. Economy is in shambles, and in social political life, there is a lot of conflict and polarization, and it is consciously done. We are of the view that BJP is nothing but a political wing of RSS whose ideology is sectarian, divisive, communal, fascist. And we should understand this. That has taken the country to multiple crises, and how to save the country. So Desh Bachao, BJP Hataao was the common resolve that emerged in Patna meeting.
But Mr. Raja, was there any talk about the common minimum program also as to what all will be the building blocks of the common minimum program? Were those things also part of the deliberation at Patna?
There was no discussion, but there was a reference to common minimum program by some leaders, but there was no discussion. And everyone agreed that in course of time, how the unity of secular democratic parties is going to emerge, how the formation of the government is going to happen. It all depends upon other factors. But there was a common resolve. That common resolve was and is that we all should move together, fight together, and ensure the defeat of BJP in the forthcoming elections.
But Mr. Raja, the 23rd of June meeting was a 4.5 hours meeting. It was not like a very short duration. And for 4.5 hours, if only one point I pick up from what you are saying, that, there was a common resolve to fight against BJP, of course, that was there. But there are regional differences between the parties, say, for example, between the left and the Congress in Kerala. Then you have a TMC versus left and Congress in West Bengal. Now, how are those differences going to be resolved in particular states, especially?
Because you are referring to left, I must make it clear. We are clear in our understanding. At national level, there should be a common understanding, a resolve. That is to defeat BJP. The primary objective must be to defeat BJP in order to save the nation, save the constitution. This must be the primary objective at national level. When it comes to elections, electoral strategy, and seat sharing arrangements, they will have to be discussed at state level, taking into consideration the balance of political forces in every state. And the situation is not the same in all the states. What
Right.
we see in Tamil Nadu is one situation. There, DMK-led secular progressive alliance is there. And there you have Congress party, you have two communist parties, CPI, CPM, you have parties like VCK. But in Kerala, it's a different situation. Bihar, you have Mahagathbandhan, where you have RJD, JDU, Congress, three communist parties, CPI, CPM, CPI, ML. We all together. But it is not the same in Bengal, or it is not the same in Uttar Pradesh. So situation varies from state to state. The political parties are matured enough, taking into consideration all these situations. They will have to work out a strategy in order to pull maximum number of anti-BJP votes. So people must be told and mobilized in order to defeat BJP. So that is how political parties will have to work. You are right. There are different situations, but the political parties will have to address, and they will address.
But Mr. Raja, if I may ask you particularly about left, are the left parties going to be part of the umbrella national alliance? There is a confusion, and especially with regards to a statement apparently which you gave, or maybe that was a misread statement, we do not know. But I really want to know from you that will the left parties be part of the national umbrella alliance if it comes up, of the opposition parties?
The left will work with all secular democratic forces. Left has this clarity, left has this understanding. But when the question of government formation emerges, how that combine is going to be, we'll have to wait and see, because there are different experiences. When the United Front was formed and the United Front government was formed, the left was part of the ruling coalition, United Front, and Congress party extended support from outside. Even among the left parties, CPI was part of the government. Other left parties did not join the government. When UPA 1 was formed, the left extended support from outside to UPA. In both the cases, we had steering committee, coordination committee, we had a common minimum program, and we worked accordingly. So let's see how this is going to emerge. But what we are insisting, we must see that BJP is removed from power. The other questions,
Mr. Raja, but what are the hurdles
can
and
be
the
addressed
you see
later.
Right. But Mr. Raja, you said that you have to wait and watch, see how things unfold, and then you will take a call. So, what are the roadmap? I mean, what are the challenges or the roadblocks, if I may ask you? What are the challenges you see in thrashing out all these differences? Whatever you see in the way.
It is not like wait and watch.
Okay.
It is like participating in the process and shaping the political course and political process. As you mentioned, there are different political situations. What I said, the balance of political forces varies from state to state. So, how we can address this? That is for the political parties. There, I am of the view, my party is of the view that political parties must be reasonable, political parties must be realistic to consider the balance of forces. Political parties must be accommodative. When I say political parties, secular democratic parties must be accommodative to each other because elections mean uh, sharing of seats, each party trying to get its reasonable presence in assemblies or in parliament. All this will have to be considered. These are all practical questions.
But Mr. Raja, if I may ask you, and take, for example, the case of West Bengal. Now, how is Mamata Banerjee going to reach an understanding with the left parties that she should cede space to the left parties, and left parties will also agree that, okay, we'll let Mamata Banerjee, contest in some seats, and we will, that is something which is unfathomable right now, and people cannot really understand how that understanding will arrive.
We have not discussed in such a way what we should do in Bengal. But what Mamata Banerjee or TMC should not do, we are clear. Because while she agrees with us that BJP has to be defeated,
right,
she has to think over what she is doing in Bengal.
Okay. So the
She
point
cannot club
right,
left, Congress, BJP, and say they are all one fighting TMC.
okay,
That there she must be clear. That
right,
is why the political parties must be reasonable, realistic. When I say the secular democratic parties must be reasonable, realistic, and there one should not even while addressing election meetings just for tit for tat comments, one should not go to that extent. How can they say left can be with BJP or
right,
Congress can be with BJP or BJP can be with left Congress. Yeah, anyway, that is somewhat unacceptable to us. Such comments, such approach, unacceptable. And let us see how changes are going to be.
right, right. But Mr. Rogers, if I am to understand from whatever you have said, that the points of disagreement have been discussed. Now the parties will go back to their respective states. They will decide as to what is a workable formula. So the next meeting, which is going to be held in Shimla, so far we have known that the next meeting will be in Shimla. So is the Shimla meeting going to be about this particular formula, how the points of disagreements can all come together, and will the next meeting be all about this now? That wherever the parties disagree, what is the workable formula on those disagreements? Yes, sir.
So far, we have not decided any specific agenda for Shimla meeting. To take the process which emerged at Patna, to take it forward, Shimla meeting will be held. There, what are the issues? What are the priorities? What are the concerns each party has got? They can share their concerns. And there can be some discussion, but we have not fixed any agenda, specific agenda.
Okay.
And moreover, during this period, we will have to confront assembly elections in a few states,
Obviously.
including Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh, later on Telangana. So state elections are also there, and they are also important. How we can defeat BJP in those states, that is also a matter of concern. Let us see.
Right. But Mr. Raja, whenever the planning for such opposition meetings happens, who is really managing and coordinating the things? Is it coming from Nitish Kumar's office because he's supposed to be the person who was interacting with all the opposition parties? Or is it the Congress which is doing the coordination work? From whose behest is all the coordination and coming together happening? Who is sending out mails to the leaders? Who's communicating? Is it Congress or is it Nitish Kumar?
Actually, it is a collective effort.
Okay.
Of course, before Patna meeting, Mr. Nitish Kumar played an important role.
Right.
He joined Maga Gadbandhan. After that, he tried to interact, reach out to the leaderships of various secular democratic parties. He did come to my own party headquarters. He had a serious talk with me. In the same way, I went to his office in Delhi. We had a serious discussion. That way, Mr. Nitish Kumar met the leaders of several political parties, the chief ministers, non-BJP chief ministers, and he played a role. And Patna meeting was really a successful meeting. In Shimla meeting, I hope it is Congress party is going to post that meeting, and Congress party will be contacting other parties. This is what I understand.
Okay. So basically, Congress will be bringing together all the opposition parties. That work was done by Nitish Kumar, which culminated in the Patna meeting. And from now on, is it the Congress which is going to take the lead in bringing together all the opposition parties?
No, that is what I am saying. Shimla meeting will be hosted by Congress party. Then how the process will move on. And we will find out once the Shimla meeting gets over.
Right.
But the point is, one should also keep in mind, Congress party as of now is the largest pan-Indian secular party. It is in government in several states, and they have certain more responsibilities. In fact, even to deal with relatively smaller parties, how Congress is going to do, all these questions will be sorted out once the process
is
moves
there a
on.
common, Raja, so is there a common understanding amongst all the opposition parties that things cannot move without Congress, and Congress is the glue which will bind together all the opposition parties? Is there a realization amongst all the parties?
No, but it is not like that. It is not like that. It is Congress also which joins the effort of other parties in Tamil Nadu. It is DMK which has taken the lead, and it is DMK which is heading the coalition that way. And Congress party is there, two left parties are there, parties like VCK are there. So how do you explain there? There, who is the glue? So we should not get into such arguments. But political parties, there are largest or parties are relatively smaller parties, but having strong commitment to secular democracy, having strong commitment to the ideals of our constitution, having strong commitment to the idea of India. I don't mean the idea of India what Ms. Modi is speaking or BJP is speaking. Our own idea of India. we all know how to deal with the situation, how
Absolutely.
to work with each other.
Right. What would you say to the reaction by Mr. Arvind Kejriwal on 23rd June, the way he reacted on the ordinance issue? What would you really say, and how do you perceive that incident?
Mr. Arvind Kejriwal also met leaders of several parties, including uh, my party. He came to my party headquarters. He had a meeting with my party leadership. We know ever since BJP came to power, there is an attack on the federal principles of governance. Article 370 was abrogated. Now, what is the situation in Jammu and Kashmir? We know, and how the governors are functioning in states where non-BJP governments are there. I can say again, I can refer to Tamil Nadu. Why the governor should go in conflict with the elected chief minister? It happens in case of Delhi. It happens in case of Puducherry in several states.
No,
So
no. What I'm asking,
how to?
what I'm
No, I
asking
am coming to
is
that
that
point.
the way Arvind Kejriwal became insistent, and he said that no, the condition of me going ahead is that Congress should support the ordinance. Was that a right approach by Arvind
That's
Kejriwal?
what I am trying. That is what I am trying to explain. Mr. Arvind Kejriwal raised that issue in the meeting. Before meeting, he brought that issue and sought support from all other parties. We all agreed, and it can happen in Delhi today. It can happen to some other state tomorrow. So what will happen? India, that is Bharat, is union of states, and the government here is union government. It cannot centralize all powers. It cannot take away the powers of the elected state governments. And what is the center list, state list, concurrent list? Now this union government is trying to take all the lists in its hands. That poses a challenge. Here, everyone agreed whenever that ordinance is brought in parliament for a legislation, we should oppose that. Even Congress party made it clear. Congress party cannot support any measure of the union government which undermines the principles of the federalism and which snatches the powers of state governments. But they said they have their own mechanism to take decision and uh, declare it and implement it. That's all. There is no difference.
So you don't agree that Arvind Kejriwal tried to vitiate the atmosphere in that opposition meeting in Patna?
No, I don't call it vitiate, but uh, yeah, after the meeting, what he said, that has been brought to my notice also, that he could have avoided. That he could have avoided. But let us see, because there may be local uh, compulsions, but we at national level should stand above the local considerations and see how the process of unity will be strengthened.
Right. But do you think that there is a possibility if Arvind Kejriwal doesn't measure his language too much and the way he came out with the statement, there could be a possibility that the opposition unity could go ahead without Kejriwal? Do you see that a possibility?
No, I don't know. So far, Mr. Kejriwal has not spelled out what
Okay.
he will do.
Okay.
Yeah, but I don't want to assume things.
Hmm.
Once it happens, I will react to it. I will face the situation as it emerges before me. Now, why should I assume, and why should I get into speculation? Why
Right.
should I doubt the political leaders? And whatever they have said, I uh, presented to you, and let us see how things are going to be. It is for them. I must take responsibility for my statement, for my work.
Right.
Same way, he will take the responsibility. Let him spell out what he wants, what he is going to do.
Hmm. But Mr. Raja, do you think that the opposition parties have enough time for 2024 elections to ready themselves, given the fact that BJP is always in a battle-ready state? And do you think that the opposition should have started much earlier this exercise of coming together and bringing out the moot points, coming together? This exercise could have started earlier?
Whether it should have started earlier or not, the effort has been started, and we are moving now. That should be seen. After all, we should not take people for granted, and people are matured enough, and they know what is what. Why BJP is getting desperate? Why BJP is getting jittery? Because there is growing anger, discontent against BJP government. That's why BJP doesn't have any argument to counter the so-called opposition parties or secular democratic parties. BJP resorts to all abuses and um, polemics polemics. One should conduct polemics in a dignified way. The way BJP leaders are attacking secular democratic parties, the unity process, people are taking note of all these things.
Mr. Raja, BJP has been saying that, the coming together of the likes of Mr. Kejriwal, Mamta Banerjee, and all the opposition parties coming together is like coming together of all the opportunists. Now, what would you really say and how would you respond to this BJP's charge?
BJP should not talk about political opportunism of other parties. Was there no political opportunism on the part of BJP? Ask them to do serious introspection. Ask them to look at their face in the mirror. BJP should not speak about political opportunism. What is the principle of BJP? So BJP tried to align with anybody in order to grab power. Now, political parties have realized, people have realized that BJP is pursuing a policy of polarization, a policy of hatred, and which has led to increasing atrocities on Dalits, Adivasis, minorities. Even our women are not secure. The wrestlers, they were fighting, and the Prime Minister had no word to speak on that. Now Manipur is in turmoil. What Prime Minister is going to do, we'll have to wait and see, because he has not said anything so far. So BJP should not hurl such abuses against secular democratic parties.
You spoke about the Prime Minister, and I'm just going to read out a statement by the Prime Minister who has just spoken about 55 minutes ago, and it is there on the Twitter. I'll just read it out about the opposition parties, what Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said. Just listen to this carefully. He says, opposition leaders who used to curse and abuse each other are now touching each other's feet. Such is the level of their restlessness. Mr. Raja, how would you respond to this statement of the Prime Minister? He's just spoken about 50 minutes ago. Yes.
I know. You must tell Mr. Modi what Shakespeare has once said. Was is not is. So was is not is. Many things happened during the freedom movement. We were in the forefront, Communist Party of India. We made supreme sacrifices for the independence of this country. What was RSS doing?
Right.
And the post-independent India, what was the contribution made by Jansangh or later on the present BJP? Who built the public sector undertakings? Who built heavy industries, dams, and who built institutions of higher learning? Who formed the planning commission? Who took the country forward? Who shaped the growth process in the country? Now, RSS, BJP combined, they try to teach others, and they say we have never touched the feet of British. We were in jails, we were killed. We never touched the feet of any other imperial power.
Right.
And now they should not speak about touching each other's. What is this? Prime Minister should speak in a dignified way, raising issues,
Right.
raising issues. Let
Right.
them say what Communist Party is saying is bad. We talk about the poverty, unemployment, uh, healthcare, housing, all food, water, all this. So let Ms. Modi say, oh, what communists are speaking are nonsense. They are not the issues. Let him say, we can argue, we can answer to him. But not instead of doing that, he's referring to some other things.
Right. One last question, Mr. Raja, before I wind up the interview, that your party lost the national status 1 or 2 months ago. And what is happening really on that particular premise, which the left parties were saying that all the left parties will come together? What is happening on that front? Are there any plans of merging all the left parties, or it's still all different?
Yeah, it's a very good question, pertinent question, because election commission goes by certain technicalities.
Hmm.
Because every party has an history and its contribution in building the nation. As far as my party is concerned, it is one of the oldest political parties in the country. Yeah, after Congress, our party was formed in 1925, and we are working almost 1 century for the country and people. We fought for independence, and I think in the post-independent India also we have been fighting, and we have party base and the mass support starting from Jammu Kashmir, Manipur. Now Manipur, our party is a recognized state party, and our party fought for the uh, rights of Manipur state. We used to be part of the government. We used to win the inner Manipur seat, outer Manipur seat, parliament seats. So our party now in all these states, we have party units, we have trade unions bases, Kisan bases, Khet Mazdoor bases, youth, students, women. We have so, despite all these things, on technical reasons, the election commission withdrew the recognition. That is not a big issue. We are in the hearts of the people. We know. The second part of your question, what the left parties will come, will are thinking about the future. Yes, there is a view everywhere that communist movement should come together, unite. In fact, our party has been openly saying the situation demands we should strive for unification of the communist movement. Unification of the communist movement. When the right wing fascist forces have grabbed the power
When will that
and
happen?
country is
Because
in trouble.
we've been hearing for quite
No,
some time
that
all the left forces
that
will come
that yeah, we have started thinking that should be welcomed. Yeah, so when the thought process emerges, then our concerns come together. Then it is up to the history, and that history will decide. And we are hopeful. We are
There's,
optimistic.
so
That's
there's
what I
no
can say.
so there's no time bound action plan regarding the
No, no.
unification
Right
process.
now, we have the united work of the left parties. In
Hmm.
fact, we have a coordination committee at national level. We
Okay.
meet time to time, discuss issues, and take our positions on various issues, and we plan our mass movement campaigns. In fact, very recently in Telangana, Hyderabad, we had a statewide convention
Hmm.
of the leaders, cadres of both CPI and CPM.
Okay.
I was there as one of the speakers. CPM General Secretary Yechuri was there as another speaker. So it gave a great enthusiasm. Similar convention was held in Andhra Pradesh also. In several parts of the country, we try to come together, work together. And not only CPI, CPM, other left parties also, we are trying to close our ranks and move together.
It was wonderful talking to you, Mr. Raja. Thank you so much for joining on the Federal. And one appeal to the viewers who are watching this interview, subscribe to our channel, send us your feedback, and stay tuned to the Federal. Thank you.
Subscribe to the Federal's YouTube page for more news and updates.